Okay, so I've been doing lots and lots of cooking and trying to get ready so I don't have to, like make all Stella's food up early and put it in the freezer. So all I have to do is get stuff out um, for the first week. So, anyways, I'm doing tons and tons of cooking and stuff, getting ready for all that. And there was like a few things on, but I haven't been on. I don't know. I feel like I don't know too much about what's going on. Like I've been on there some to look, but I don't really see much. I see there's some big storm, but there's still all these questions about the thing that was moving through the water, that their anomaly or whatever the hell it was. And I think it was probably a spaceship or a craft of some sort. And, the water is just another dimension. It's just another frequency. So the the things can move in and out of there, just like in portals, just like they can move through our atmosphere and then they can move into other ones because their frequency is high enough in the craft that they are moving around in is a high enough vibration that it can move through all of this density. So anyways, I think, it's something. And I just heard another thing about there's some big event that the scientists are saying is about to go down within the next 3 weeks. This giant star, it hasn't happened since 1946. Some giant star is going to explode, and they say everyone's going to see. Well, there's a sky event. So if this star that they're saying is 300,000 or 3,000 light years away or something like that, which, okay, so how far does the firmament go up? Like, there's some bullshit going on here. And so, anyways, wherever this thing is going to explode. And there's so much, so much talk about the sun simulator. Now people have gotten pictures where you can see the honeycomb. You can see it, and they've looked it up. They've looked up the patents. Like it's a for sure thing. Like this is a Truman Show when we're in a habitat. And they have several suns going around, and all this sky event is what I think is making things not work for them. Well, obviously, because it's the energy of the universe, but that's what they wanted to cover stories, with climate change and stuff like that. But they always knew it was not going to last. I think that's probably why they wanted to do the fake alien invasion, so that we would be scared when the aliens really did show themselves. And so, and remember, what they call aliens is just all different beings that live in all these different vibrations. They're just all different realms and stuff around us, where there's all sorts of beings just like us living their lives. And but not all of them go through all this stuff that has gone on here. Like, this is a special thing, apparently, what is going on here. And so, and then that's the thing is, all these souls that are so caught up in ego, they really are like, whatever they consider to be like angels and stuff. And so it will be like a humility or something, like a forgetting who they are. Somebody just pulling up in that driveway. Hold on a second. Because that's the guy who's going to drive me. Okay, now they're leaving with some white van with some kind of sticker thing on it. Now they got the hazard lights. Maybe it's another mail thing or something. Oh no, there's weird stuff going on lately. So weird. The other day, this was so weird. So I was watching this movie. It was some Lifetime movie. And I was standing up. I think, I was expecting a package. I was expecting 2 packages, this black salve and this boron cream for my incision. And I got some more horse paste. because I was like, fuck, I'm going to do a big cleanse, because anytime that they cut into your body and stuff is very traumatic. So I want to get optimum. I want to be like, oh, really good. So, anyways, I was standing here watching, and all the different male people were going by, and because there is a lot going on with the mail. There's like all of a sudden a car will go by and it has these things on it, like, they've got so many packages probably from Amazon that they want just anybody off the street. Like, you go up to the post office. I really do think it is a thing, because I have known people before who made money off of Amazon orders, and you go pick up like this whole thing, and then you got to stay up all night delivering them. And so, oh my God, I'm telling you, I keep being totally under attack. Every time I go to try and do this too, I'll feel like, oh my God, I gotta go to sleep. Like Sleeping Beauty, I'm just like, I can't stay awake. So I'm forcing myself, because then after that, I'm gonna turn on a Lifetime movie. I've got one already queued up, and it's about a girl who was on a public forum like this, only she's one of those influencer types, but, and gets a stalker, because that's real. Like, that's real. And you start seeing, like, people do, I don't know, it's like, you can form all type of relationships, you can make friends. Like, I've made a lot of friends on here, but there's other people who get like really controlling over you, and that's where I'm like, man, is this like a part of the psyop of what's going on, or is this like their real personality? And so anyways, but any of that stuff is so you can test your boundaries anyways. But I gotta finish this other story. I'm just gonna go all over the place, obviously. But I was noticing where I was like feeling very attacked before I started, and just nonstop. I swear to God, I think I say 20, 30 times a day, fuck you, Archons. Like, knock shit down. Fuck you, Archons. It's like, it's ridiculous. Like, something falls and then falls out, and it's like, oh my God. It's like, and so I'm not gonna send him out mad. I'm just like, fuck you, Archons. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. You want to do is give me grief and cause chaos. And then, but there's also there's just this energy that wants to keep itself alive. It's desperately trying to keep itself alive. It would still exist. Like, even if Earth wasn't here, the dark energy would still exist. It would kind of be just the dark. Like, it needs something to find itself. Even though I don't know if that kind of energy can become conscious energy. Like, I don't know if that takes billions of years. Like, I don't know how long we've been doing this. Maybe we all started out as just dark energy, just a blob. And then, eventually we worked our way up to conscious. And, but a lot of people, who are really unconscious, but I think they're a lot more conscious once they, once the lights come on. And that's where they're going to find so much humiliation. But anyways, so I was watching for the mail truck guy to go by, and he pulled up, and then, man, what the fuck? Hold on. Like somebody took a saw or feather down through my throat and was hitting it from the inside. Couldn't tell if it was like sharp or feathery, but it was very irritating. Oh, damn, I'm telling you, there is attacks going on. Fuck. If you are feeling attacked, don't think it's in your head. Like, it's fucking real, man. So, hold on. So, anyways, I'm standing here looking out, right, in the big white truck, the big regular old mail truck guy that was pulling up. And he's just sitting there and sitting there and sitting there. And so then I'm like, okay, well, maybe he can't get in my mailbox. I don't go out and get the mail out. Maybe there's a bunch of junk in there or something. Maybe he can't get the stuff in. I'm thinking, man, I just went there a couple days ago, and they send me an email every day. And it's like, I know I couldn't have more than a couple envelopes in there. And anyways, he kept sitting there and sitting there and sitting there. So I go get my shoes. Of course, Stella's like, oh my God, we got a job to do. Let's go. And so I open the door. She goes. And then I'm going up, and I get up there. And I think he moved up to the neighbor's mailbox then, which ours are right next to each other. And I go walking over there, and it wasn't our regular mail person. It was somebody totally new, and was so trippy. Is like he looks over at me and smiles and starts, talking. I said, "Oh, I thought maybe mine was too full. You couldn't get in." He goes, "No, this one's a problem." And so I don't know what was going on with hers, but I got my mail and I'm standing there while he's there, and so I look over at him, and he looked like the guy off of Orange is the New Black, Mustache Man. And I was like, oh my God, that is so weird. And so then I go into the house and do my movie again. And the guy on the movie looked like him. I was like, what in the hell? Like, it is weird. It's like, I don't know. I don't know. It was so weird. It was so weird. And it was like this guy was here, but then he was this other guy and this other thing, but then he was in here. It was like, I don't know. I swear to God, I don't know. I mean, they always say, like, we're the only thing that exists, and we're making all the rest of this shit up. And so it's like, I guess I've ran out of people. I'm reusing people at this point. I don't know what the fuck is going on. It's weird. And I keep noticing that, like, with a lot of things where, oh my God, those people look so much alike. And when I guess Megyn Kelly, because they were making such a big deal about her looking like Nicole Simpson, people have been just like tearing that shit up. And so Megyn Kelly came out and said, I had a real life. Like, I was a real person. I've always been this person. You guys are trying to make me into this other person. It's like taking away her existence. I could totally get what she was saying. And so anyways, she is there to say, like, no, that is not her. And that'd be really elaborate hoax. Like she said, why would you go and fake your death to go into the public eye? Like, wouldn't you? Well, the guy, the preacher who people are saying is Elvis. Like, I could believe that one. And he sounds like, I don't know, like, because I think Elvis faked his death for sure. I think there's a lot of people who faked their death. But this preacher is like in Tennessee or something, and he looks like he's got white hair and white mustache and beard, kind of Santa Claus looking. But when you look at his face and stuff, it definitely looked like Elvis's face, but his kids look like Elvis. And he had a special place with Lisa. He had a special relationship with Lisa Marie. He's got, there's a lot of stuff. Like, Priscilla has gone up and talked. Like, there's a whole lot of stuff. He's got, you just have to look into him. When I was seeing somebody sharing his stuff, I was like, oh my God, that's got to be him. I wasn't all in on that. I didn't think Nicole Simpson and Megyn Kelly, they don't have the same look in their eye. Like you could, even if you are face, but your soul is in your eye. So, I don't know, but I didn't think they had the same look. I don't know. Megyn Kelly has like a vibrancy or something in her eye. Like, there's something real sparky in her eye. And Nicole had something that was really, I don't know, like dead, She probably was very beat down. She got together with him and was really young, and he was beat her down the whole time. I mean, he wasn't nice to her. He's not known for being a nice boyfriend or something. And so, anyways, I think that she was more, you can see in people's eyes. Oh yeah, weird thing too is that, there's a whole bunch of people who were having these experiences where they go up and they see somebody, and all of a sudden the person turns into what they call a demon face or something. But the people who are saying this happen, it's not like their whole face turns into this weird, wicked demon. They said, like, their eyes turn black and something distorts on their face. And this guy, he said this freaked him out. This was like a big delivery guy, like a delivery man, like a big bulky delivery man guy. He doesn't look like probably very much scares him. And so he said this freaked him out. And he went to go into a store, guy who he knows, he talks to all the time, and friendly, and he goes up to do his delivery to him. And then the guy turned and looked at him, and he said that his eyes were totally black and his ears did this weird thing. He said it freaked him out so bad he was just like left. And then went and made a video about it, which all these different people are talking about and stuff, because there is a bunch of people who are having this happen. And you know, then I don't know, there's the people who think like the weird stuff sounds crazy. Like there's a guy who and I don't know how big his platform is or anything, but he is saying the book of one is all lies, that boomers made all this shit up, and I don't know, like they made up like you could leave your body, they made up about telepathy, they made up all this stuff in order, I'm not really sure, and the book of one is all made up and stuff. And you know, when you hear those people, to me, you gotta just think is like, that's sad. You've never had any experience to know what you are, who you are, any spiritual connection to anything. And, you know, I'm definitely not gonna argue with somebody about it. And I've learned that you can't teach somebody or tell somebody that the learner finds the teacher. The teacher doesn't find the student. When people want to learn something, they go out and search. They look for the information that they want. It's not that, you know, you have to go out and push your information on everybody. You just make the information available, and then the seeker finds what they're looking for. And then it's, you know, what people are seeking. So the you know, and I feel like there's a lot of marketing themselves. Like there's a lot of people who market themselves. And I think that's gonna go away. Or sometimes I can't even stand like even on a TikTok. Oh, I'm Kelly. In case you didn't know, I'm here to do that. And you can find me on, it's like a whole fucking commercial every goddamn time. It's like, and they'll do these like tricky things like, oh, and I want to explain to you about this herb and all the benefits and all this stuff, but they won't get to the goddamn thing and tell you what it is. It's like, God, you can sit there and listen and listen and listen. It's like, I'm tired of this marketing campaign. Everybody's selling themselves. It's like, give me a fucking break, man. So anyways, I had this other stuff going in my head at the same time. So let me see if I can organize my thoughts. Because I think I've already like kind of gone all over the place. One thing though is that, so yesterday, one thing that is kind of funny, I swear to God, is, you know, I feel certain that he thinks I'm a biker chick and that I'm like into motorcycles and I'm not. I went out with, those race car drivers when I was like 16, and they all drove motorcycles. And so I was on the back of motorcycles back then, and yeah, it was fun, you know, going 100 miles an hour down a dark highway when there's no traffic out. And the wind is blowing your hair, and you know, you don't care if you live or die. You're just like, let's do this. Like, who cares? And, you know, I got to have those experiences, and I got to live through them, because you're not meant to die unless if you die from it, that's what was supposed to happen. And but I got to have that experience. And then but I saw a lot of people get very seriously injured on motorcycles, and not when they were going fast like that's death. No, it is more of just out riding. Like when I was on hit, my one boyfriend's, a car just turned right into us. Luckily, we're close to a parking lot, so it was like the middle lane just turned. We were in this lane, and they didn't even see us, just turned right into us. And luckily, he saved us from getting killed. It was like we just got hit like a little bit, but it didn't hurt us. But it scared the shit out of me. And then and another bad car wreck I was in with a boyfriend who he drove that Mustang Mach, whatever they're called. Very, like, there was a lot of muscle car guys back then when I was a kid, like Anybody who was younger remembers those days, and I wish we still had. That's what I want. That's what I would want to get, like another old car. I want a carburetor car. But the thing is too, is I forgot to say this the other day on that Trump thing where he was saying about the contest for who can be the most creative as we establish these new communities and stuff. And that will be the design, like if you come up with something really cool. He said you got to make sure that you put stations for your cars, because your cars will be flying cars. And so you'll have to have stations that are up. So like you'd walk up your house on top of the roof to go out and get in your car instead of down on the ground, you know. And so he had talked about that. So I know these flying cars are coming. David Wilcock had already said that they're already working on them and stuff. And so, and that's just him. I mean, that's not even the white hats or whoever. Like, there's going to be this giant jump, this quantum jump that's going to happen where we're going to go from, I'm telling you, the Flintstones to the Jetsons. And so to me, I don't even know how much I really want to put into fixing this car. Like right now, the guy came over and he put it on the charger. It charged all night long and it got fully charged. So battery got fully charged. He put the thing back on my battery. I ran up to the food bank. I took it off at the food bank so the flashers didn't just flash and flash and flash. Came out of the food bank, put it back on, got in my car, and it was doing something weird because now it won't even let me turn the hazards off. It won't even let me do shit. Because before I could push it and push it and push it and keep turning it off. Now it won't let me do anything. But then I got back and I turned it off and the flashers haven't come back on. And so I don't know if I didn't get it tight enough and maybe it needs to be tighter, but whatever is going on, it still drove, which I could tighten it more. But the flashers didn't go. And so then kind of keep it on life support or something until this stuff plays out. Because I mean, it seems stupid if it's going to be like a couple $1,000s or something. Like, I don't know. Somebody else told me that it was some kind of siren module or something. Like, I've had different people say things on TikTok, what they think it is. So, but the module thing, because that's what that guy had said. And so, but like, do I really want to dump a bunch of money into that? Like, it seems smarter to go fucking buy a boat. You got to have something to move the boat. But it seems smarter to go buy a fucking camper than to go buy another car. So, so I don't know. I don't know about the whole thing. It's just like, I got to just keep watching how things play out. Just see how things keep going. But one thing is, too, is, so while he was over here, wait a second, because I didn't finish that other thing. Oh, yeah, because he had said, because he always goes by on his motorcycle past my house. He never goes by at my house in his car, but always in his motorcycle. And I always think I'm sure he thinks like I'm going to be like, oh, cool, I want to get on the bike. And I'm not like that at all. Even the last time when I had gone to this it was in Post Falls. It's State Line, that's what it's called. State Line has this big, giant biker bar, and it's someplace where you want to go out, and it was like really cool. And so I had gone there. We had gone. I had wanted to go there for a while, but somebody finally was like, okay, I'll go. And so it's cool. It's like really, really cool. And they have like even a show. They open up the thing. They drive through. It's really, really cool. But anyways, this guy was talking to me and he's like, oh, you know, you want to ride on my bike? And this was the only other time since I think I was a kid. No, I did have a boyfriend when I very first got divorced. And I went on the back of his for like a second, I think. But I'm just not into it. And, but on that ride, that guy kidnapped me. He stole me, took me to his house. He was chasing me, like he was not going to take me home. He was trying to force me, and like, hell no, just bad vibe altogether. And so, anyways, anybody drives by, and I think he thinks like I'm going to be like, hey, cool, let's go for a ride. And so yesterday he goes, well, we could go on my bike down there to my surgery. And I said, well, that won't work because I'm going to have drains and I can't lift my arms. Oh my God, thank God. But no, I wouldn't go if it was going to be on the back of Simi's motorcycle, especially all that. Like fucking 6 hours on the back of Simi's motorcycle. Jesus Christ. Oh no, I did go on oh yeah, I forgot. I did go on a ride with somebody, this biker friend of somebody who just rides this all the time. He took me on one. It was way out in the country. It was a cool ride though. And I'm sure that it would be out here. I'm sure it would be, you know, if you were with somebody who, you know, I don't know. I just wouldn't just go with anybody on their motorcycle, that's for sure. Never again. And even knowing somebody as a neighbor, you know, I even felt like, you know, weird to just go and be in somebody else's car and have somebody controlling, you know what I mean? So, I mean, there's lots of stuff that goes on in the world. So anyways, but he had said that, you know, when we were standing out there, he's like, well, we could go on the back of it. And I was like, oh, no. And then today when he came to do the thing, he goes, well, okay, well, I guess we'll go in my car. And it's like, yeah, that would be good. So, but when I was talking to him, he had said, you know, oh, I can take you. I don't do anything but sit around all day watching YouTube. And so then I was like, oh, so he's watching YouTube. I wonder what he's watching all the time. And then he started saying, well, I like to watch stuff on history. There's lots of stuff about, like, he was watching, like, Native American history or something like that. That's what I'd said about the Tartarians and stuff. And so, anyways, I had sent him a documentary about that, too. And then, but today when I went up the food bank, there was a guy, one old guy talking to another old guy, and he goes, yeah, well, all I do is watch YouTube all day. And then the other guy goes, yeah, so do I. Who doesn't? I was like, fucking YouTube is where people go to watch stuff, to get educated on things. Like the people who keep trying to build these big platforms, like TikTok's trying to get people to put half-hour videos now. It's like, nobody's going to watch it. What a waste. Like, and on here is where people come for education. Like, it's like, well, okay, now I'm going to sit down and watch a video, you know, and go deeper into something. The one guy, I talked to him for a long time this morning because him and I were the first people there. And he pans for gold. He was telling me so many stories. And I was like, what a fucking interesting hobby. And he was telling me about his heart thing. I'd heard him last time when I was there telling somebody else. Because I was like, man, everybody here's got heart problems. Fuck. And so anyways, when I was talking to him, he started telling me about his heart thing. And he was awake while he was watching him put it in the stents. He's got 5 stents. And so I said, you gotta start drinking the dandelion tea. And so we had a whole conversation about weeds and herbs, and that led to the government shady as fuck. So anyways, we had a long talk, but I'm sure he's like most people. Once they're talking to me, they're like, okay, well, nice talking to you. I'm a little uncomfortable now. I gotta go. It's like, didn't mean to bring up anything to make you uncomfortable, but that's where I live. And yeah, it's like if you're gonna talk to me, you might get uncomfortable. And but it really made me think, like, I think he watches stuff, more like farming stuff or something. Like, I'm sure they all have different things that they watch, but that is what I'm saying, is this platform, the YouTube platform, I don't think is going anywhere. I don't know what's gonna happen on TikTok, Instagram, like Instagram, Facebook, all the ones that are Zuck. And I don't know. I kind of, for all we know, Elon is being held hostage as, you know, a bad guy. And they're using his name for this platform to release all this information, because I still can't get on there. So I had somebody sending me some Twitters or tweets or X's or whatever the fuck they're called. And I tried to go back onto my account again, and it will not let me. It won't let me start a new account, nothing. So, I'm banned off of there. So I still say, like, how is that really free speech? It's just a platform that's being used to, it's like a controlled release. Like, think about how they do the dams and release the water and stuff like that. It's like the same kind of system. It's like this releasing information and then let everybody process. And they're watching the conversations, and some of this shit takes days. And then they're all talking about it. And then they'll go through the next phase. And then it's like there is something. I can see what they're watching. Like I can see, it makes sense. Because you do watch how the people, like, information's released or something happens, and then you watch how it plays out, how it rolls out into the communities, and it's like how we pass it around. So it's all part of the awakening. And so anyways, so I think that's part of the reason why some of this stuff is so slow too. And but the money thing is gonna crash. Like, don't kid yourself. Like, that is gonna crash. And that is the sign. If you have any doubts about it, go and do research, because the signs are all around you. And there is everything telling you that it has to be like some sort of cognitive dissonance to not be able to see. I think it is because people's minds are so mind controlled that they can't imagine a world without what they've provided. But what they've provided was, was taking it was against God. It was like against God's law, like the energy and stuff. Like, they were taking from us. They were using us, manipulating us, mind controlling us. But it was up to us in this game to catch on. But we caught on when we're supposed to catch on. You got to put all those pieces together. You can't get all hung up on any of those stuff. Like, you should have caught on sooner. Oh, you should have never came. Just all the shit. Like, no, you're here in the here and now. This is happening. It's for a purpose. You weren't supposed to know it beforehand. There is a whole thing, but this is a spiritual battle of light versus dark. But you can be, super dark and come into this realm and, go experience what it is to do a lot of really dark shit. And I just hope that you don't get yourself caught up in a tidal wave of corruption, because then you are caught in a whole karmic kind of thing, and that stuff happens in this realm. People get like a karmic debt. They get themselves in a mess because it's like following along, following orders. It's like, that's what this break free from into independence is all about, is because it is an interference that is, I see it kind of like a going against free will, but they have their ways around it where they think that they're still allowing us free will, but there's so much manipulation and mind control and stuff that has gone on. So anyways, this is no way to live. And so, and their time is up. Like, the game is over. It's all played out. And so, it's time for the new game to start. And the energies and the beings that got to thrive in this kind of environment, they're struggling because they have nowhere to go. Like I was saying, it's kind of like all they'll have is darkness. All they'll have is each other. The ones that can go around in ships. But I think that there is even punishments and stuff that have gone on with some of these warring beings. Like, I don't know. I don't know. Because you can't, like, kill a soul. So I don't know, because there's a whole thing about the reabsorption. And the way I see it is kind of like a higher self that can put out a whole bunch and then take them back in and reabsorb them and then put them back out different. But I don't know, I don't know how long the Dracos, like, if they're in their soul form, but they're just of a dark, which I'm pretty sure they're in their soul form. Like, so, and then if, because that's how they can shapeshift and shit. So, if they're in their soul form, you can't, man, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, because there's weird kind of these weapon things. There is some weird weapons. Like, and I don't know if those like just zap a soul out of a certain reality or a certain frequency, or if it does like absorb the soul or something. Like, I don't know about some of that stuff. I just know that like the Dracos don't storm the palace up in the higher dimensions. Like they're down here storming the palaces. But it's like how I don't know how to explain it, but I like see these different levels. And so if you took a space, like you took a glass or something, and you could put in different colors, like a little bit of this color, a little bit of this color, a little bit of this color, like in a tube or something. And all of those different colors would have a different vibration. And whatever was in that vibration would be able to thrive in this space where it's at. But like I've said, you can't go above your vibration. You can't. And see, we are not in our soul form. We are birthed into a reality. So our souls are higher vibration than this. My bones are all crackly. Our souls are higher vibration than this. And so when we come out, we go higher. When they, if they are out there, see, they can't go higher, and they can't come out. I mean, that is them, you know. So it is like they are stuck in this realm. So it's almost like they have control of it because they are a heavy presence and they don't go out further. Like the higher realm souls, the higher vibration souls have so much more available and can go so much further because of your vibration. Your vibration is the key. It is the key to all the locks through all the portals. The higher your vibration, but the thing is like what they say like about the Arcturians and stuff is that they're so high a vibration that it's uncomfortable to go down into lower vibrations. And they say that about a lot of the beings. Like they don't come down in lower ones because it's too uncomfortable. So they stay in the higher ones. And so, but see, then these other ones, they stay down, and the low ones, they can't go up. You can't bust on through. You see what happens. Like, get all Hillary out there. We're going to get through. But you can't get through. And your vibration holds you. And, you know, it's weird. It's like, I don't know. I know that they want us to, I know they're trying to hold us back from our true potential. So, but I don't know what all that is. Like, I guess, you know, that kind of remains to be seen. I think we're going to kind of transcend the concept of, you know, the flesh and blood, but this whole thing that, this heaviness of you. And, you know, like when I see those people just be able to pick themselves up and be just like a fucking board floating. And then I think it has to do with us getting control, like, because it really doesn't have weight. You know, that's an illusion. So, and the illusion is part of your learning. Once you go through your learning, you can drop the illusion. You need the illusion so that you can learn from it. But once you break free, and your lessons as you break free will keep being there. It's not like you just bust on through. No, there's it's like you're pulling through, you're dragging it with you. And as you're dragging all of this stuff with you, you see like, oh, I'm codependent. Oh, I've got anger issues. Oh, I'm resentful. Like all these things, when you're not looking at everybody else. Oh, you're such a bitch. Oh, you shouldn't have said that. Oh, get away from them. When you look at yourself, then you notice these things about you. So those are the things that you're pulling as you are trying to break free to find yourself. And so you pull all these parts of yourself, and that is where you get to see them so you can let them go. And that is the like releasing of all of the things that you were and that you thought you were, to go towards, this freedom of self, where I said it's almost like there's nothing holding you anymore. And and you have to be healing, because there is nothing like that is grounding you. There's nothing to hold on to this world. And so that's where I kind of like learned of like the point of the 3D, and how you need this grounding to hold you into the game. You need your player piece to have a place to move around so that you can experience the game and represent yourself, so you can learn from your representation. And so you develop and create the persona in the game. But in order to leave the game, which we're doing, we're not dying out of the game. We are leaving the game by our own free will. And so we have to take notice of the game, take notice of the control, and then you have to get comfortable and, going back into that, who and what am I, when I don't have all this around. You have to have an identity of self. That's why I said you can't skip around in this. It all goes together. And so you got to just play it as it comes to you, and don't miss out on the things that come to you, because they're specifically designed for you. I think there's a lot of work put into these flight plans. So don't ignore them when you are experiencing it. And always go in and look at the bigger purpose of things. Try and understand things on a deeper level is a big problem. And then especially when you have people out there trying to lead people of, like, there's nothing out there, and you are nothing. And it's like, no, you are a spirit in a supernatural world that doesn't even exist, that you are a creator. Like, there's a lot to this. Like, there's a lot to it. And the people around you that you hate and cuss out, they're your best friends. You love, love, love them. You're connected to them. And, that's how strong this illusion is. You don't remember her. And I saw this lady having this, like, and this older woman, and she just couldn't believe that she met somebody that she felt like she had already known. I was like, what the fuck? How are people so cut off? Like, what? I just can't even get over that. I was like, yeah, because you are like, that's what is supposed to happen. You're supposed to meet up with these different people. And of course you're going to meet up with people who feel like home. And when they do, and you come across like these soul connections and stuff, you always got to just go in deeper to it. What's it all about? What am I supposed to be learning? Obviously, I've got a messenger here. So what am I getting? What am I supposed to be doing? What am I supposed to be learning? What am I supposed to be creating? Everything is about going in deeper. And your soul has all the answers. It's not like you need to go to somebody else and ask them. You already know. You got to learn how to trust yourself. And then you got to also be able to learn how to block out the interference from the dark energy. And they are on fucking overdrive right now. They are just jacked up on fucking death juice or something. You got to watch out, because I'm sure they're just in there talking shit to everybody. And I'm sure they are creating fights in houses and all sorts of stuff. I'm sure there's so much tension. There just continues to be nonstop, just fucking murder, murder, murder. Like people just most heinous crimes happening. And there's fucking serial killers everywhere. There's like, fuck, it's like bad news, man. And it's going to keep going like that, you know, as all these people's, just remember, these are all these people's storylines. It's not just like, oh, well, that could happen to me. Oh, crap, that could happen to me. No, go and ask yourself on the inside and pay attention. Like if all of a sudden you have something like, run, listen, listen when they say run. Listen when they say pay attention. Start tapping in because the loud fuckers, they don't want you to hear the other ones. But you have a connection, you have an instinct. So don't just think like all this bad stuff is happening, is going to automatically happen to you. But if something bad is happening and you're not connected, not paying attention, then something can. And it will be something about your lessons. It will be for a reason. It's not just senseless attacks. There is reasons for all this stuff to happen. And it's kind of eerie to think like that you put this into your life yourself. So, you know, because like, why would I think like, oh, I made sure I got a brain injury, lost everything. Like you wouldn't think that. But when you realize all the things that you learn and grow, it's not like you go, oh, well, I want all these bad things to happen. No, it's like, well, I want these good things to happen. So how can I get these good things? Well, you got to go through some crises. You got to pull yourself out of a crisis, and then you got some good stuff. So the bad stuff, like the dark and the light have to work together. The bad stuff has to occur so that you get the good stuff. But that's why I was saying when this goes down, that there's a lot of dark energy. Like, well, what do I do now? Like, just a lot of bad stuff. Like, I don't know. Be like, I seriously, I don't know if there's going to be like a lot of dark energy on the move, looking for another realm to take over. If fucking the Dracos, I don't think that they're all getting to go though, and just take off. I'm sure there's some that are going to other places that they can vibe, and still trying to take it over, because you know there's just a group of beings that just want to control other beings. And it is almost kind of like, when you think about it, it's almost out of jealousy. Like, because we have freedom, like the higher souls, we have freedom. Like I said, we can travel, we can like come down here and we get to go. Bye guys, we're leaving. But they can't. They're stuck. And you have to raise your vibration. Well, how do you raise your vibration if you're just going around being evil everywhere and destroying everything and controlling everybody? You can't. The reason why all of us souls come in is because we go through these experiences where we go through pain and loss and suffering, and we grow as beings in our empathy and our understanding. But see, they don't have that, and they think that we are weak because we care about other people. Like they see that as a weakness. And so but it's like that is their realm, is this lower realm. So I'm sure they'll go to some other places, some other I don't know, other earth type facilities, and latch on there, go in, try and take it over. They probably do it for billions of years. They're probably doing it right now somewhere. That's just how they exist. They are like a disease looking for a place to grow. And the archons, the dark energy, the just sludgy, senseless energy that is strong though, is I don't know. It almost seems like that maybe they go dormant or something when they don't have something else to live off of, like that they don't have anything to thrive, so they kind of go dormant. But then if like say if the earth stayed here and there was an ending, and like what's had before, for a reset, and all the people left, and then the earth just started back over, and all the people came and rebuilt and all that stuff. Then um, then as soon as the energy of light came back in, then the archon, see, the dark energy has something to feed off of, so it can go out of its dormancy, kind of like the cicadas or something, but kind of go out of its dormancy and be thriving. That's where they go, like a hungry hippo going around all the people, sucking out of the energy off of the people. And it's just like in this realm, like where we are at this point in time, is that they had created an established relationship to sell our energy. And I would think probably, like if I were to guess, it would be like the Dracos and the controlling forces depend on the archons as the drains of our energy, because they assist in draining, and that is what everything that they do is all about. Deplete us of nutrition, mind control us and stuff. So it makes sense that the kind of like in some realms, like you think about like the fairies and stuff, like this really happy energy that is just going around, and flowers are blooming and butterflies are going, like this excitable energy that is all about love and growth and joy, kind of like it's a sparking. And then theirs is like this deep density, sludgy, ugh. And so they the archon is kind of like, I don't know, kind of like the opposite of the fairies or something. It's like they have the same kind of thing here, only they aren't sparking a little beauty and stuff. They are draining and pulling and sucking into, it's like a, I don't know, quicksand keeps coming to my mind, but it's just sucking the life out of us, draining us of everything. And then they, go a step further and start doing it into the physical, of causing us to be depleted with our minerals. And it's so crazy too, is I saw somebody say something like we're 120 minerals, we are 98% water, we are, I think, so mineral salt. I don't remember the whole breakdown. It was like only a few things though, and that is all the stuff that they're depleting us of. That's the stuff that we need to survive, is what we are made of. And that is why the aging process shows, as people become drained of all of what they are, all their minerals and water become more and more depleted, and that is draining the life out of them. And then the people don't realize it, and then because people don't pay any or realize any of this stuff, then they can even go further with making people sick, because then people are so depleted, it's easy, and then you always sell them a cure, and then you get rich. But they also, there is these contracts and stuff that were made where they sell our energy. So the archons, that's why I said that they are very draining. Like they'll knock shit out of your hand, all this stuff, because they feed off of our frustration, our fear, our anger, and stuff like that. So whatever they can do, like if you're a very angry person, you're probably getting lots of pokes. Like whatever it is, they're going to keep poking you, poking you, poking you, poking you, to keep getting this emotion from you, And it really kind of creepy too, is because then once it switches, then it's like they're all going to be so, but they're not going to be able to live off of the energy that they sucked. It's going to, it's like deplete them faster, kind of, because they've been taking so much, but then there won't be anything there. So it's like taking somebody who's like obese, who's just stuffed themselves, and then all of a sudden cut them off of food. That is kind of what is going to happen to them. And, but also, we're also used as food. And it's so weird is how, they create this concept of matter, but the matter is something, but it isn't really there, because if you change the vibration, it's gone. So, but in the vibration it exists. And a second, I had something else that was coming in my head. The yeah, that thing was like, oh, I'm gonna say that about so anyways, that they take this part of us that is real, and this energy or this vibration, and they sell it as food. They sell it like there's other beings that eat it. And I don't know, there's so much about us being food. But, we're food, and then we eat our own, and like there's so much weird shit. So, but there's all this whole thing about it. And so whatever goes on with that. So I don't know if they sell our energy for the archons, but the archons, like if you're using the archons as this sucking thing, it would make sense that the Dracos would want to feed their beast. And so it would be but they don't eat the people. They just suck the energy out of them. But there's this loosh thing. There's like this payment that they get for this loosh. So the more upset they make us, the more mad they make us, or whatever, that feeds this thing. So that's what I'm saying. And then but then there's these other beings who actually eat us. Eat us like, like beasts, like what we eat, like how we, go cook some food and eat it. So it's the same thing. Oh yeah, that's what it was. This is so motherfucking sick. I can't even fucking, I don't know. It just went all into my head today, where it just was like, oh my fucking God. So I gotta say this in code. So I'm gonna be really talking weird. And so, those blue guys, their names are Rab and then I, and then they do, the foreskin removal. So they're really into that, right? Well, now there's a whole news report. There's all these babies having herpes. And so then they're like, oh, that's because of the practice that they do of sucking it. So they take it, cut it, kids screaming, bloody murder. I would think there's probably very fully loaded with the, you know what I'm saying? Fully loaded and fresh. They lay it fresh. And there's video after video that they just go down there and glom on and just suck the hell out of that thing. It's so motherfucking disturbing. I can't even fucking believe it. And then I just can't help but think, like, that is they're motherfucking vampires. I don't know if they look young or what the fuck. I don't know. Maybe some of those guys doing it, they could be fucking 5,000 years old for all we know. Like, I don't fucking know. Like, who the hell is going to do that? Who is going to go take a little tiny baby, cut their privates, and then stick your goddamn face down there and suck all the blood and stuff out as this baby screams their head off? It is so... But anyways, that's something that's coming out presently. So that is very disturbing. There's a lot of disturbing stuff. There's lots of disturbing stuff coming out. And you just got to keep on remembering, that this is all, all this stuff was going on. Like, I'm glad I didn't have a little boy. I always said I wasn't going to do that. I wasn't going to have him cut as a child. I like go get him cut. Then I worked at the endocrinologist office, and he had to do one on an adult man. And he's like, but remember, he's blue. And he was like, oh, you got to get that done when boys are little, because as they get older, the skin tightens and like strangles their penis or something. I don't fucking know. And but then as time went on, I was like, I think, there's lots of guys that don't have that done, and they're not all running and doing it at 70. So I don't know. Sounds like a little bit of programming and indoctrination to me. And I think it is important too, is for anyone who has the foreskin still attached, is you got to make sure and keep moving it. Like if you don't ever move it and clean it and stuff like that, yeah, I would think it could tighten. Maybe the guy hadn't touched his penis in fucking decades. Who fucking knows? But anyways, you got a whole body to maintain. You gotta meet his needs. Figure it out. Like, I don't know, but you got to be a little bit. I don't think that we're meant to. I don't think we're meant to cut ourselves up at all. And I'm gonna go have these people cut into me, and it's like a little stressful. But I don't want to wait further for where the med beds when it like, fuck, what if it's 5 more years? No, I want this cancer causing shit out of me. And I just can't wait, man. This is now Tuesday. This is Tuesday. So next Tuesday, I'll be already home by, no, I'll be in surgery right now. I'll be in surgery right now for a week from now. This is the time I would be in surgery. But then it's all done, man. And tomorrow I make my last payment. And then I am, I don't know. I keep feeling like I'm cutting these giant tumors off or something. I have to keep reminding myself, oh no, you'll still have boobs. And then, and I keep putting, there's a bunch of oils, and anybody who's like doing a lot of weight loss or something and they're being bummed because they've got all this loose skin is keep putting these creams. I don't know, I could be like really like, oh, there's a lot of loose skin, but also it will keep continuing to tighten. Keep doing things to work on, like, I don't know, like there's some people who were hundreds of pounds, and so the skin can get so torn and damaged, I think, that you have to get it cut off. But there is people who have tightened their skin, and there is these different oils and stuff. And so I'm doing all these oils to, hopefully the skin is just like, oh, I'm okay. And just, goes back into itself and doesn't say all like tore up and stretched out or whatever. But anyways, whatever happens, happens, I guess. I think it's going to be fine. And I'm going to use my mind to keep healing it. But I keep feeling really positive about it. I don't feel, negative about it, except for these fucking archons are always like, what about this? What about this? Fuck you, archons. So I don't give a shit what they say. I think it's going to be good. I'm excited. Mama's there. And let me think if there was something else. It seems like there was something. Yesterday I watched two these old movies. One came on, it was like when I went to go watch something, this movie came up. And I was like, oh, that looks kind of interesting. It was called Web of Deception. I thought it was really good. It was a mystery. And it was one that was just like, it was very twisted around. I was like, oh, that was a good one. And then, so I just waited. I was like, okay, I liked it. Bring me what you got. And so they brought me another one. And it was called Palmetto or something like that. It had Woody Harrelson. And, I can't remember that girl's name. It had a bunch of people. It had a whole bunch of people. Even fucking, what's his name? I was just talking about the when Pigs Fly guy, what was his name? Rappaport, Michael Rappaport. He's even in it. But it was a really good one too. It was very twisted mystery. It was good. And so I was like, oh man, that was a score. I was like, really had your mind going, like, ooh, trying to figure it out. Oh, I love that. And that's why I don't know. I like more complex stories where I can't see right through it, where I'm trying to figure out like what's going on or anything. I always like that. But let me think. So those were both good. Okay, so I said both of those on YouTube. YouTube is, I think YouTube is gonna really start going up. Like it's going, when things start going, I think probably kind of what will happen is, especially if it is like they're saying in a couple weeks, we're gonna have this big sky event. Like there's constant these things and there's so much going on. Like there's like so much with the water. And don't forget, we were told watch the water, and then when you watch, there's all sorts of weird shit. We got so many different things. And, you know, the earth is going to have its changes. It's going to have its volcanoes and all of those things. But there, just keep in mind, like, we've got more than one thing going on. We got the bad guys situation, too. And they interfere with weather and stuff. Because once they're taking down, a lot of stuff, I think, is going to go so much calmer. But the, whatever goes on with this sky event, I hope that that is a big disclosure thing. And then whatever it goes, it will, things will start changing. And it was something else I was going to say about it, but I don't remember now because I'm just so all over the place. And Mrs. Grumble Pants. I did put some of that black salve on the back of the one on the back of her leg. I might soak it again. It's barely there. It's so small now. It's like, oh, so close to being gone. And she does seem like a lot of her cysts went down again. So I don't know what causes them to flare up. Oh yeah, I wanted to say that. Is I was you know, I keep on thinking like I smell like minerals or something. Like I'll go in and pee and I'll be like, oh my God, do I smell like minerals? Like am I have too much minerals? It's like, what? Do we naturally smell like minerals? Like, I don't know. And then but then I was putting on my clothes and I was like, oh my gosh, my clothes smell like minerals. Now, what is that possible? I get them out of the washer and dryer and they smell like minerals. So is it really the water? So when I sit down in the toilet, I'm smelling the water in the toilet and there's something, some kind of chemical or something in it. I keep thinking it's some kind of mineral smell or something, but I could smell it in my clothes. And I've been saying for a while that is making my clothes smell weird. So now I'm thinking it's something with our water. Like, but I haven't trusted the water the whole time. Like, I've been saying that. I even told him yesterday. He's like, well, I don't drink water. I just drink coffee. I was like, well, that's depleting. You gotta drink. But this isn't the water for it. And I'm sure he's making his coffee with this water. And this water is, like, you can look at the EPA report I did. It's got cancer stuff. Not as much as some other people. Some people, you go look at your EPA report, you got like 27 fucking chemicals that are toxic for you. Some people have 13. Some people have 7. We had 2, but I bet you there's more added because it smells. Like I could smell the water. Like I don't remember water smelling. Like I swear to God, when I was little, water would smell like if you went to the creek or something. You went somewhere around where there was fish. But I don't think water's supposed to smell coming out of the faucet unless your pipes are funky. So I don't know. I think my pipes are funky too, but this house needs a lot of stuff. And that's the same thing too. It's with the car. It's like, fuck, if this is going to be gone, like, I don't know. I don't know. I wish that we could know more sooner, but I don't know. There's so much about this is about learning how to trust, learning how to relax, learning how to let go, not having to hold on tight and have everything, you know, be in control, know what's going, like, no. We're supposed to be able to learn to like, okay, it's cool, everything's fine, it's working out, everything's fine, and not be so like, oh, like, I've got to make sure, So, anyways, in that, I don't know, that's a challenge for me. Especially, I feel like if you come from any kind of chaotic background or weird childhood or anything like that, it does make you feel like you got to control things. Nobody else did. Everything's out of control. You got to control it. But then once you start developing yourself spiritually, it's like, no, they want the control. You got to let go of the control. You're trying to control something you don't have control over. And that is where you got to learn to depend on your higher self, trust. So, anyways, that's just my thoughts of the day. I don't remember if there was some other stuff. I'm sure that there was. I'm sure I'll stop and then I'll be like, oh man, I forgot to say this, forgot to say that. Um, they're investigating on the bridge thing now. Like, of course. Like all these different things. Oh, and the freaking SJW shut down the Golden Gate Bridge. Like, I don't know why these people in there going out and burning the flag in the streets and stuff. It's like, you guys don't get what you're doing. And I think like that some of the stuff is going to be on cameras. And that was something that Donald said. Like, if you are going to be out there doing that, you are going to be paying the price. It was like $10,000 or something. And I don't know, because a lot of these people are so anti, but there's a reason to be anti our government, but you don't attack the community because you're anti the government. Go deal with the fucking government. Go down to the fucking Capitol building. Go deal with those people. Go to their houses. Why are you fucking blocking off bridges so nobody can go anywhere? They went to some fucking fountain and poured in all this stuff till it looks like there's blood everywhere. It's like, why? And the people who are doing the ones with the other flag who are going with you, this is their like, I don't know. I don't know how these people don't see. But everybody, whatever they're blind to right now is going to be like high beams here pretty quick. Because when this thing happens, whatever it is that flips us the other way, like all these people that don't see the error of their ways, that's all they're going to see. All they're going to see is going to be replay, 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 replay. It's going to drive them fucking crazy. I'm telling you, there's going to be a lot of suicide over it. Because people don't want to face themselves. So when you are facing yourself, you got to just keep remembering it's all about forgiving yourself, getting to the depth of you, trying to understand yourself at your core, the deeper part of yourself. You don't want to just, off yourself because you're, you don't want to face yourself. You want to face yourself. Like there's a purpose for this. There's a reason. There's a meaning. So, and the whole thing is about, you got to learn to love yourself, love everyone, and have a loving day. And I'll talk to you later. Bye.